My name is Dr. Dilip Amin. Over 19 years that I have guided 1,200 youths in interfaith relationship, and I have summarized all those in 4 different books. So today we will be discussing interfaith marriages as a new category of caste systems. Interfaith marriage and a caste. Let's see. So before I go into it, let me give you some background, and that is the origin of the word caste came from casta. That's a Spanish Portuguese word, and it's some kind of social hierarchy. Because of their power and wealth, people, those who had it, they wanted to maintain it, and they want to make sure the other stays under them. And that's why this casta word was being used, and that was a system in Europe at that time. In 1872, Britishers tried to import in census and try to put it on to all Hindus. And for this presentation, it will be difficult for me, but the Hindu has to remove what they have learned that caste is Varna. It is not. In Varna, if you open any Hindu scriptures, there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 Varnas, never 3, never 5. Versus caste, there are 4.6 million castes in India, as per Government of India Socio-Economic Caste Survey. 4.6 million. So bottom line is, will not go in detail, but caste is not Varna for this discussion. And instead of that, we will follow Isabel Wilkerson's. She is redefining the caste, or as a matter of fact, she is going back to whatever the word casta. So who is Isabel Wilkerson? She's a New York Times bestseller book author. She published this book in 2020, Caste, the Origin of Our Discontent. As soon as this book got published, it gave such a major fuel to all those organizations who were obsessed, or those who are obsessed with this caste uh, discussions, and that is Equality Lab and Hindu for Human Rights organizations. They also managed to pass a law in Seattle about the caste bill, and it is still in books. Later on in 2023, Senator Ayesha Wahab, a Muslim Afghan senator of California, she introduced the caste bill SB 403 with the help of same Equality Lab people. And then I spent almost whole 2023 fighting against this caste fight. I went to wearing this t-shirt. I went to Sacramento and went to so many government bodies and townships and made a presentations against this caste bill. What happened that there are so many people during those discussions, they will throw this book at my face. Look, Dilip, look. This is the reason we need the caste bill. It is important to control this caste discrimination. And thank God, in the end, Governor Newsom vetoed the bill, calling it's not necessary. So the caste bill, SB 403, is dead. Now, what is it in this book? Isabel wrote it. So finally, I get around reading the book in 2024 after the SB 403. And what she is doing it, and like what most Westerners understood, that there are some kind of Dalits, untouchables in India, and they are kept away from it, kept poor. They don't have any benefits and all that. They don't have any equality, and this upper caste kept it at a distance for their own advantage. So that's the caste system in India. She also described the Nazis, Germany time. 6 million Jews were killed. Also, 400 years of slavery in America. That is also caste. So she put all three together in her book. Equality Lab spin the story around. And what they did is that they start calling Hindus, the upper caste Hindus, Nazis.
The Nazis aren't Germans in fucking Europe. They're actually upper caste Indians.
And the white supremacists. So it was very uh, embarrassing. When I read the book, I interpreted her book and messages as what she's saying, that there are certain characteristics being a caste in the caste. And she says that these characteristics are there in Indian system, they are there in Nazis, and they are there in the American racism. But she never said Hindus upper caste are Nazis and they are those white supremacists. So if those four characteristics are there, what I am proposing, my proposal, is that interfaith marriage is also a caste at the same, based on those same definition. So that's my proposal. Let's look further. So I wrote this article, position paper, and published in Pathos. It's completely narrated. Basically, I'm reviewing that paper. So what she's saying, examples of caste systems in the third race Nazi Germany, the caste system in India, and the racial dynamics in United States. So that's three are there. She also covered and told that this interfaith marriage is also a fourth system, but she did not elaborate further. And here I am formally making it that this is the fourth kind of the caste system. And what I'm doing it, I'm using Hindu and Muslim marriages to explain my point. So with that, we need to very carefully look what Isabel defined the caste as, not like what Equality Lab defined. So unfortunately, Wilkerson's define in binominally categorize the society, which I don't believe it. There is nothing like black and white, believers and kafirs, dominant upper caste and lower caste, because there is always gray area in between. There is nobody who is the white, and nobody is the black. Everybody are brown, different shades of brown. Let's leave it alone, that point. But what she's saying that there is a dominant upper caste, and naturally, if it is a dominance, there is somebody who is a subordinate, marginalized, and lower caste. And naturally, the dominant caste employs various tactics to maintain their superior status, often at the expense of the lower caste. So that's her definition. Further, she defines, and I'm quoting it from her book, that caste is an investment in keeping the hierarchy as is. Why? In order to maintain your own ranking, the advantage you have it, the privileges you are enjoying it, and to elevate yourself above the others. So that's a caste. Moving further, and again, this is very important, so let me define it carefully, listen carefully. The caste system is an artificial construct. This is a definition. It is artificial construct because let's say you are in Germany, you meet a Jew and you meet and the next two could be a Nazi supporter, believer, but basically you don't see any difference. I mean, they are just same kind of people, lives, eat, talks the same way, but still there is a fixed and embedded ranking of human values that sets the presumed supremacists, one group, against the presumed inferiority of the other group. So there is a difference there, even though you don't see it outside. On the basis of ancestry, just because you are born there, that's why. And often immutable traits, the traits that would be neutral in abstract, but ascribe a life and death situation. Meaning in a hierarchy favoring the dominant caste. And where it came from, whose forebearers designed it. So the caste system uses the rigid, often arbitrary, you cannot figure it out where it starts and where it ends, And it made to keep the ranking of the groups apart, distinct from one another, and their assigned places. So, too much information. Let me highlight the critical points. There has to be a supremacy ideology there. There has to be ancestry there. And then it is so important for whoever believes that. So there is a life and death kind of situation there. They will go at any expense to make their point. And it's been coming. आगे से चली आती है, पीछे चली आएगी. Forebears designed it, and objective is to keep them separate. Here I'm removing those gray area, and as I said, that I'm saying that Muslims are supremacists to explain this point, and the Hindus or who are in non-Muslim in the love relationship or interfaith relationships are the presumed inferior or subordinates. Let's look at why. So first of all, it's an artificial construct. If you are at a Bombay Stock Exchange and if you see 100 people passing through, there is no way you can tell who is Hindu and who is Muslim. So it's all artificial. Everybody looks same. But still, it is a clearly fixed and embedded ranking. One person knows, yes, I'm here and I'm there. One group, Muslims, clearly feel there is a supremacist. They are the one who are believers and they will be going to heaven. They are heaven goers. Versus Hindus, many Muslims believes, not all, that Hindus are kafir and they will go to hellfire. Further, there is an ancestry there. If some Muslim or Hindu may be an atheist, I don't believe in that, but because it's coming from that family, there is ancestry there. Clearly, you know that in interfaith marriage, there is an honor killing there. So you are in an interfaith relationship, it is a life and death situation, or you could get into it. Forebears decides it's coming out, it's going on in your own family, and that's why it should keep on going further. And we'll see the examples. And the objective is to keep those two groups separate. So with that, again, I want to repeat it that I'm using Hindu Muslim as an example to make my point, but it's applicable to any interfaith relationships. Anywhere where there is a discrimination, there is a supremacy, and when there is an ancestry involved. So according to Wilkerson's definition, if those are there, that's a casteist ideology. To make a point, if there is a Kadwa Patel Hindu, and there is a very, very small subgroups, other group is a Levwa Patel Hindu. In my childhood, those marriages were not allowed. And if you marry, parents will get really upset at you. Is this a caste? No, it is not. Even though there is a discrimination of Kadwa to Leva and Leva to Kadwa in interfaith marriages, but there is no supremacy. Nobody says I'm a superior to you. That concept does not exist. And further, if two Kadwa and Leva marries, parents will be upset, but there is no life and death situation. So that's why this is not caste. Same way, if a Pentecostal and a, let's say, evangelic, they want to marry and their church will say, no, you cannot, or create difficulties for them, or try to talk them out. That's just their preference. But that doesn't mean this is a casteist ideology. In Pew run a conduct study on 2021, they found that the Muslims are the most conservative society in India, and the Christians being the least conservative in terms of interfaith marriages. Now, if Muslim wants to make sure that they marry within their own faith, again, that's a personal preference. That's not a caste. But those who marry Muslims, even though they are very conservative, just jump out of their yard and go on the other side, get into interfaith love relationships, and then start asking other expectations, meaning conversions. That's a casteist ideology. So there is a difference there. So with that, again repeating, caste discussion is applicable to all faiths. Now, Wilkerson's defined caste, and I quoted down from the book, and I'm defining the fourth category, and that is interfaith marriage. So let's look that one. So who are the dominant and subordinate in those categories? In Germany, it's the Nazis, they are dominant, and Jews, naturally, they are the subordinate. In India, Savarna, Avarna. In America, it's the whites and blacks. And in our discussions, it's the Muslims are the dominant class, Hindus are subordinates. All of them are linked to ancestry, but in interfaith marriage, the ancestry problem can be solved if you convert to Islam. That is not an option in the race ideology, because black cannot convert to white just by some ritual. Period, it's one, Germany's lasted maybe 30 years, India and interfaith marriage is going on for millennia, and American this racism, some 400 years of history. Two of them had religious discriminations, two are just social because they were part of the same religion, within religion discrimination. The outcome, some 6 million Jews were killed in this because of this caste ideology. In India and America, there is discriminations was there, and some lingering discrimination still going on. And in interfaith marriage, the outcome is a conversion. So what is the current status? Germany, this conversion, that's, I mean, in all practical sense, it's all obsolete. In India and America, congratulations to both of them. That is a major improvement compared to what was it probably 300, 500 years before. So that is improving. Unfortunately, in interfaith marriages, there is absolutely no change. There is a clear expectations of religious conversion. I would say, I don't have any numbers, but probably 90% of in Hindu Muslim marriages around the world, or probably 99 point plus percent of marriages, Hindu must convert to Islam to marry a Muslim. So if it is so much casteist ideology out there in there, the world should know it and look to address it. To make my point, let me give you an example so it makes it a lot easier. There is a lady named Geeta, and the video is already a link will provide it below. The Geeta, a Hindu, fall in love with a Muslim guy named Muhammad in India. They got married by a secular wedding. So there was because and they agreed everything is pluralis, rara, middle ground, no problem. They had a really wonderful life. Geeta really believed that Muhammad truly loved him. Even last year, he told me that he really loved him. But what happened that when Geeta was 8 months pregnant, Muhammad trapped her to convert to Islam. And so let's look at her details. So I'm putting the categories. One is the dominant class. I'm calling Muslim or Islam as a dominant class, and the Gita and Hinduism as subordinate. Let's look at whether you agree to that or not. One of the criteria is did Muslim colonize others? Yes, Muslim did. Did Hindu invaded others and colonized them? No. Do Muslims believe in superiority of their religion? Yes, for Islam. Are the religious books indicate superiority over the other faith in interfaith marriage? Yes. And this time point, 2413, is where this conversation, if you look at the video, it says that, yes, there is a superiority. It's cited. So you have to go back to that particular time point to confirm that whatever I'm saying is correct. Is there a prior history? As we discussed that the forebears. Yes, Muhammad's mother was a Hindu, and She converted to Islam and now she's following Islam completely. So when Muhammad made Gita, probably he may have a targeted that, yes, my dad did it, let me do the same thing. And he did not explain to Gita many things because he just assumed that she will do what her mother did it. She will marry and convert. He never thought that Gita will be of a different breed. She will say no. Did Gita ever, in any family, Gita's family ever converted any Muslims? Who? Out of question. So that side is the no. Moving further, did Muhammad made to change Gita's name? Yes. Point 4817. Made change the religion of the spouse. Yes, he already trapped her to convert, and you can read it at 4950. And he actually physically abused Gita and justified based on Quran at 1.08 time points is describing. She imposed the cloth codes on her. She imposed a religious code on the spouse, and he says, yes, you have to follow certain serious uh, Sharia practices at as she narrated at 7:20 minutes. And it also restricted the religious look of Gita, meaning she cannot wear bindi anymore, even though she's a Hindu. And he restricted her to do that. Did Gita ever say to her that no, you cannot, because you married to me, you can? No, never that question came up. So the child name only from Muhammad's side, it's a Muslim name. Child faith has to be Muslim only, as per the video says. And also, he restricted Gita to follow her own faith. So clearly, you can see that one particular person, one particular side is a clearly dominant, the other is subordinate, submissive. There is a clear supremacy there. There is the ancestry there because Muhammad was born to whoever Muslim. Clearly, it is a life and death situation because right now they are going through the divorce and they don't care. Gita must convert and she's already converted, but she has to remain Muslim. Otherwise, he does not want her in that married life. The forebears, yes, Muhammad's mother was there and he expected it to continue in his life. And as I said, the conversion is the only thing he's looking for. Now, to placate Gita, to make her happy, Muhammad made a deal. And he says, you just convert to Islam, you don't have to follow it. It is not mandatory to follow it. So this is very important point. So apparently the conversion was for his Muslim Ummah community, not for Allah. And that is caste. So my point is, it is not religion, it's the caste is a problem. And if religion was a problem, he would not have fallen in love following Quran 24:30. He would not have fallen in love with the Hindu anyway. Now, this is what I'm writing in my Patheos article further. The submissive nature of individuals from the lower caste is evident only in the cases of people like Gita. No, it's also present in prominent figures like Bollywood actress Kareena Kapoor. She's so powerful, coming from such a prestigious family, and she herself is a very successful, wealthy lady. But when she married this divorcee, Saif Ali Khan, she accepted Saif Ali Khan's name. Her name is now Kapoor Khan. And further, the children's names are clearly Muslims' name, Taimur and Jahangir. So apparently they are very happily married. So the reason being that because unlike Gita, Kareena Kapoor is very happy in her submissive position and their married life will go wonderful. Now, when I put it this way, many people complain that Dilip, this is India, that's the way their society goes, male dominant society. Good point. So let's read it further what I say. This cannot be justified by citing the patriarchal system in India. Because Saif's sister, right in these pictures, the lady Soha Ali Khan, she married a Hindu. That's Krunal Khemo. But she did not change her name. She still go by name Khan because it's a supremacy. It's a wonderful name, Khan. Why I will put on Khemo in my name? That's below dignity. And children's names, nope, it has to be on the Quran. So even though father may be Hindu, so this is not a question of patriarchal system. It's question is of dominance of one over other. Yes, clearly there is a supremacy there. There is a clear ancestry there. They have not reached to this life or death situation because Karina and Krunal both have been in their submissive position right now. They are happy with this submissive second class tier classification for them. And so far they have a happy married life, so that's their choice. Did their forebears define it? Yes. This Saif and Soha's mother, Sharmila Tagore, she married Patodi, converted to Islam, and she is 100% Muslim. So it's been coming out from पीछे से चली आती है आगे चली जाएगी, and objective is a conversion. Now Muslims are a little more liberal. As I said, even Catholic Church are getting a little more liberal. They don't ask for conversion, but they ask for skip generation conversions. And that's what Saif and Soha did it. They skipped this their own spouse and harvesting the future generations to Islam. So now, is it just individual cases? But you may say, Dilip, how about, can you give us a bigger picture? Yes. Again, what Wilkerson says, that the dominant caste uses the immigration and marriage laws to control who can join its rank and who will be excluded. So you look at all Muslim majority nations, 63% of Muslim majority nations, and as a matter of fact, 94% of Muslim majority countries have some kind of restrictions, and 63 have major restrictions for interfaith marriage favoring Muslims versus the dominant class, this submissive class, the dharmic faiths. Not a single dharmic countries out of these 14 countries, not a single one have placed such restriction in their own favor. So what it means that clearly there is a supremacy ideology here, clearly ancestry, because you are born in Muslim, government says that's why you have to follow this rule. It's not your choice. Clearly a life-death situation, meaning if you don't follow this rule, you will be put in prison, no doubt about it. I was in Malaysia, Indonesia, and I have seen there, and definitely in most other Muslim majority countries. It's been coming on, and that's why it will keep on going. And at the same token, even in Muslim majority country, even in Saudi Arabia, as soon as the Hindu converts to Islam, then there is no problem. Then you are most welcome. As a matter of fact, you will get special benefits. So that's you get, and if you don't get it, convert, there is a severe punishment. So what I'm saying is this caste-based discrimination has been illegal in Germany, India, and America for decades. Okay, but this interfaith caste discrimination remains legal in most Islamic countries, outright black and white clear. And no one has raised a concern about this pain of the submissive class of people, what they are going through. In country like Pakistan and Bangladesh, there are no such laws there, okay? But reality, my Pakistani friend told me that there is not a single Hindu Muslim couple in the entire Bangladesh and entire Pakistan. And if one there will be executed. So clearly there is a supremacy of Islam there. Clearly there is ancestry there, because if somebody says, Muslim says, I'm an atheist, I'm not going to follow it, does not matter. Still you will be executed, because somebody will come and take care of you. Forebears decided, I mean, it's been going on. And at the same token, in those countries also, that if you convert, a Hindu girl converts to Islam, then all of a sudden you'll be given all those rose petals and you'll be put on the highest honor you'll be given. So the conversion is their casteist mindset. You have to keep in mind. Now, how about other hierarchy in caste hierarchy in Islam? Sunnis are the top layer. They are the pure real Muslims. The Shias are less, not, Sunnis won't respect them equally as a real Muslims. Ahmadi Muslims, actually, that is legally, they are banned practicing Ahmadi faith in Pakistan. And then the people of books like Christians and Jews, they can marry them, but without conversion, but the children must be raised in Islam. Hindus, they have to convert and raise children in Islam. That's the majority people will want it. But still, Hindus are not at the bottom of total poll, because they are still believers, and the bottom of total polls are the atheists and LGBTQ. So there is a clearly hierarchy, caste hierarchy in Islam. Now, you need to separate that. You have to have a, if somebody wants to convert to any faith, I'm open for it. So that's not this discussion. And to make a point, I'm telling that the Bollywood actors, Dharmendra and Hema Malini, both were Hindu, both converted to Islam together. They did it to bypass the Indian laws restricting polygamy. So their conversion has nothing to do, there was no supremacists, there was no exclusivities ideology. It was just for some bypassing the law, they did it. So caste laws, caste discussion does not apply here. Ritu Bilani, a 17-year-old, lives 30 minutes from my home, and she converted by her choice to Islam. Again, there is no caste discussion here. That's her personal preference. So I'm telling you that liberty to choose one's faith should be allowed, and that's not a caste. Now, very interesting point. Why did the otherwise very intelligent and educated Gita fail to recognize true nature of Muhammad? They dated for so many years, 2-3 years, and then they were here in America for 2-3 years, and she did not realize she was truly in love with Muhammad. How come such an intelligent people miss out on who Muhammad is? Again, going back to Wilkerson, she's using a beautiful analogy. Listen to this. What she's saying, it's like a home. You have a beautiful home. You enter somebody's home and you see beautiful sheet rocks, nicely painted and nice framing pictures, and everything looks so gorgeous. But what she's saying, that you cannot unseen skeleton representing the caste system that operates at its core like studs and joints. So unless you open those studs and joins, you're not going to find out the casteist mindset of whoever you are in relationship with it. In Gita's case, like someone admiring the exterior of a beautiful home, she was very happy with Guy Muhammad. She cannot see the interior structures, what Muhammad is made of. The truth only comes out apparent when one starts breaking down the walls. In Gita's case, that was after she becomes pregnant, and then all truth came out. Again, in Saif and Suhaz and Krunal and this Karina, they are very happy right now, but they have not still break those joys, sheetrocks, and open who really the other parties are. So if that is not the case, I mean, relation will go perfectly fine. There is no issue. and you will not find out truth. There is another example. You may watch this video, very interesting. Raj Yerashi. He's a Harvard graduate, very intelligent man, very successful businessman. He married a Jewish lady, dated 2 years, and then married. And for a total 6 years period, he went to synagogue all the time, did the bris and bar mitzvahs and everything for the children and all that. He never realized who his wife at that time and now ex, her studs and joints, who she truly is, even though he's so intelligent. Let's look what happened. So they got into divorce. They were fighting for child custody, and then that's where their shitrok got opened up, and now you find out who actually her wife was, Jewish wife. And what she's using in the court, she says, my client is Jewish. According to Jewish law, that makes the children Jewish, and there is no question. And that's what the court transcript reads. The secular court supposed to stop this one because this is an interfaith marriage. No, court, valued it. Wait, but according to Hindu laws or Hindu practices, Raj is a Hindu, and that makes the children Hindus. No question about it. Did caste, did the court listen to that argument? No, they just listened the Jewish party's argument that yes, children should be Jewish. They had a formal braces, and bris, and Raj thought that yeah, that's your practice. Why not? And he happily be part of the bris circumcision and everything because he says that's wonderful. That was his definition of pluralism. But now in the court, it signifies and represents the official entry of boys into the covenant of Judaism. And that's again court transcript reads. And again, court should have said this is interfaith marriage, but instead of that, court agreed and factored in all those arguments. And court decided ultimately they took away, both have 50-50 child custody time, they took away Hindu meditation time and give it to bar mitzvah preparation time. So the upper caste ideology, American judge, New Jersey judge clearly understood. And they took the gave benefit to upper caste at the expense of lower caste. Think of it. And what happened in the end? And the judge says, "Hey Raj, why you raised your hand? You're supposed to be submissive." They slapped on his face and made a judgment that you did it in bad faith. What that means in legal term, that he has to pay the legal cost of his wife's, all those legal costs. That's the point. He says enough is enough. I got involved. He filed an appeal to these decisions, and ultimately he won. The appellant court says you cannot say this is a bad judgment. He's just representing his views. And but the point is, the American secular judge, supposed to be secular judge, they understands the requirement of the upper caste. They just in their mind, this is the Jewish people, that's the requirement. They don't have much understanding of Hindu faith, so they just discount them and make a judgment in even in secular American court. So that's a caste, even though that's unintentional. Now, why Gita did not realize about her husband that she was ensnared into a trap? And Wilkerson is telling that people who do not know that they are captive will not resist their bondage. And that's true in all those cases. Everything was going rah-rah, perfectly fine. They did not realize they are captive. In at least 2 cases, when they challenged them, the truth came out. And the third case, we will see if ever it will come out. So other point is counter that why Muhammad? Otherwise, he's a very decent man. Why he change? Again, we need to use the beautiful analogy which Wilkerson used in her book. And she says it's when you are in a drama, you attend a drama, there is an actor there. And the actor is supposed to be, and she writes, you are not yourself. You are just an actor. You are not to be yourself. Stick to the script to be the part you are cast to play. So stick to the script you are part cast to play. And you will be rewarded. Wonderful, you did super job. And but at the same token, let's say you are given a cast of being you are being Hitler, or you are going to be Mahatma Gandhi. But if you veer from the scripts you are given, you will face severe consequences. You veer from the script, and the cast members, even other cast members there, in the Gita's case, it's Islamic community, they will step in and remind you that you are of the script. So what I'm saying is this caste is you are supposed to stick to the script. Whatever your book, religious book there, that's already script is given there. You're not supposed to use your own brain. No, stick to the script. That's a casteist mindset. And how can one predict this duplicate caste related issues in intermarriage? How can you figure it out? Again, let's go back to Wilkerson. What she's saying, just like studs and joints, it will be very difficult to find it out till you get challenged. Further, she explains it this way, that some pathogen could never be killed. Only you can contain them. Like COVID. You cannot kill COVID. It will keep on coming back. It seems these contagious diseases could not be destroyed. You can only manage them and learn and anticipate that they will come back. You can manage them. And that is with any virus. And that you need a foresight and you have to be vigilant about it. So that's the message, important message to keep in mind, that pathogen you cannot be killed, and you need to be very foresight and vigilant if you are in love relationship about the casteist mindset, and never take them for granted. Never underestimates their persistence, that they will keep on coming back one or the other way. And that's what Wilkerson says. So if somebody comes to me and says, Dilip, I mean, I'm already in love relationship with he or she is a wonderful person. And do I have to wait till I have children and go through divorce? And can I find it out today? I says, yes, I have one solution. No BBS. No priest, baptism, Sahadat Sunat. This is an interfaith marriage. If a Jewish person want to accept baptism, Muslim want to accept the priest and all that, Hindu has no business in going for this BBS. Raj was part of priest, and that now cost him. And first of all, he missed out on learning who his wife is casteist mindset. If he declined it, he would have known it right then. So my message, as I said, that no BBS is the mantra. You stick to it. So take home message. The problem is not intermarriage, interfaith marriage, but dominant faith, exclusivist, supremacist, casteist ideology in it, leading to asking for religious conversion for marriage is the problem. It has been going on for thousands of years and it is undented, it's still going on. So I request you all, please join me in the efforts to end this casteist ideology of religious conversion for marriage. Thank you very much.